25. Agent 23 and Agent 99 in Get Smart. In this film adaptation of a 1960s American TV series, Steve Carell is a highly educated intellectual spy named Maxwell Smart, who attempts to entertain you with his awkward social skills while he's on a mission to prevent a terrorist attack by a Russian terrorist group. Unfortunately, his sexy partner, Agent 99, portrayed by Anne Hathaway, and the big, strong Agent 23, played by The Rock, weren't lucky enough to receive names. 24. The Bass Player in The Thing You Do. The Thing You Do is a feel-good film that tells the story of a bunch of average guys and even more average musicians who form a band, become a one-hit wonder, and with immense help of their manager, follow their dream for as long as it lasts. The only problem in this film is that they forgot to give Ethan Embry's character a name. He's just a bass player. 23. The Mystery Woman, The Blues Brothers. Alright, you probably don't remember her since her role wasn't one of the most important or unforgettable in the film, but still. The Mystery Woman was Jake Blue's fiancée for some time, even though he left her standing at the altar in the end. 22. Guy. Once. This truly breathtaking Irish film is not a typical musical, but more like a long music video. It's a story that illustrates the beauty of a life-changing, once-in-a-lifetime experience that will leave its mark on your life. The film primarily focuses on the bittersweet truths about life that the story hopes to pass on to its viewers, so naming the main male and female characters will make the truth seem specific to them, rather than universally applicable to us all. 21. The Girl, Sullivan's Travels. I'm sure we can agree that one has to be a die-hard 1940s black and white film buff or totally in love with the goddess Veronica Lake to like this movie. In this classic film by Preston Sturges, Veronica is the girl with no name who totally steals the show. 20. Number 6. The Prisoner. The Prisoner was a 1960s British TV series, the golden era of British TV, during which several all-time classic shows such as The Saint, Monty Python's Flying Circus, and The Avengers aired. The main character, portrayed by Patrick McGoohan, has no name and is referred to in all 17 episodes as Number 6. 19. Man, the Road. To be honest, one could easily compile a list of characters with no names from this movie alone, since Cormac McCarthy, the author of the novel on which the movie was based on, apparently loves to leave his characters nameless for whatever reason. And so for this film, the man is the man, and the boy is the boy, and the woman is the woman, and so on. No names allowed. 18. The Spaniard, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Oscar Jaenada is a Spanish actor who is mainly known for the biggest role of his career so far as the Spaniard in the Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. We bet he didn't complain much when the film's director, Rob Marshall, informed him that his character had no name, but will go by his real-life nationality. 17. The Stranger, The Big Lebowski. With all the special characters this delightfully written and directed film includes, it's not easy to remember more than one or two other than the dude, aka Jeffrey Lebowski, of course. If you somehow remember the small but hilarious role Sam Elliott has in the film, then you might also remember that his character had no name, but was just known as The Stranger. 16. The Janitor in Scrubs. According to critics and TV fans alike, Scrubs is one of the best comedy TV series and the show that introduced us to one of the most recognizable nameless TV characters ever, the Janitor, portrayed by Neil Flynn, a little-known actor until he landed this role. 15. Every character in 12 Angry Men. This classic film from the 50s should be taught in every law school around the globe, so students would be aware from an early stage that no murder trial is as clear as it might appear. A masterpiece that was way ahead of its time, and a seminar in jury studies, 12 Angry Men is all about how a juror's prejudices, life experiences, personal views, and preconceptions can affect his or her judgment in the outcome of a trial. As for names, don't ask for any, since all you get in this film are 12 nameless angry jurors. 14. The Driver in Drive. Critics describe Drive as one of the best neo-noir action crime films of our age, and Ryan Gosling's fans praised him for his performance as the film's main character, the driver. However, if you didn't enjoy the movie as much as the critics claim to have done, but instead focused mostly on secondary things, there's no way you could have missed the most intriguing part of the film. The driver has no name. He's just known by his profession. 13. M. Skyfall. The last James Bond film to date is also one of the very best in the franchise, and how couldn't it be when you've got the unsurpassed Javier Bardem portraying the villain Silva. Silva used to be one of the best secret agents in the service of the heartless witch with no name, M, but she betrayed him and left him for dead after a failed mission during which his face got disfigured, and in this film he's seeking revenge. 12. Starman in Starman. John Carpenter made one astounding sci-fi film after another during the 80s, and one such case was Starman, with Jeff Bridges in the main role. Even though we never get to know the name of the planet he came from or the name of Starman himself, this is the only Carpenter film to receive an Academy Award nomination. 11. He and She, Antichrist. Antichrist is a Danish experimental art film written and directed by, who else? Lars von Trier, of course. The film tells a story of a couple who, after the death of their child, retire to a cabin in the woods where they hope to repair their broken heart and problem-plagued marriage. However, he, William Dafoe, experiences strange visions, and she, Charlotte Gainsbourg, manifests increasingly violent sexual behavior and sadism. 10. The Nameless Warrior Hero. There have been many films with the same title, but this is probably the best one. Jet Li, in one of the most convincing and touching roles of his career, is an undefeated, unstoppable master swordsman who is on a mission to kill the King of Qin. You never learn his name while watching the film, but it won't matter much after you've watched this powerful, timeless masterpiece. 9. Harmonica. Once Upon a Time in the West. One of the toughest guys in film history, Charles Bronson has no name and goes by the nickname Harmonica in what is his most noted role in one of the most well-known westerns ever produced. 8. The Narrator. Fight Club. Fight Club is the kind of film that marked its time as very few films managed to do, and is the one movie that made us realize how extremely talented Edward Norton is. However, if you watch the movie more than once, you'll notice that even though we get to know a lot about Norton's character, such as him being totally insane, suffering from insomnia, and creating a fictional person named Tyler Durden, we actually never learn his name since he's just the story's narrator. 7. V in V for Vendetta. Well, it's not as though if you watch this movie you will find anything of value about the man behind the most brilliant mask in film history, since, as he said, he's not human but an idea, and for that matter a beautiful idea of a free world where there's no discrimination and fascism. So, as V would probably say, ideas have no name and never die. 6. The Bride, Kill Bill. Kill Bill is one of the most awesome films in the past 15 years, and the film that probably marked the 2000s more than any other, if of course one excludes the Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potter series. Uma Thurman, in the role of her life, showed her astonishing fighting skills and wore Bruce Lee's yellow suit. But if you think about it, we never get to know her name, since we all know her as The Bride. 5. Men in Black, Lost. Lost is probably the TV show with the most unsolved mysteries. That is, if one excludes the X-Files and the Unsolved Mysteries. The fact that the ultimate villain of the show had more nicknames than Michael Jackson, but no real name to concretely identify it, makes the show even more puzzling and dark. You can call it anything from the Man in Black to Smoke Monsters and Black Smoke, whatever else. Just don't ask its real name because you might piss it off, and you don't want that. 4. The Man with No Name, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Way before Clint Eastwood won 4 Oscars, made millions with his blockbuster films, and became a legend, he had a really hard time finding roles. So he moved to Italy and started making spaghetti westerns. Strangely, even though one of his most recognizable signature roles was in the western The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the character's name goes unidentified because throughout the film, everybody refers to him as Blondie. 3. The Motorcycle Boy, Rumble Fish. Rumble Fish is Francis Ford Coppola's most favorite of his own films, and we can all agree that this cinematic masterpiece reminds us more of a film Andrei Tarkovsky would have made than an American 80s classic. Mickey Rourke's controversial character is nameless and goes by the nickname The Motorcycle Boy, just as in the novel of the same name by S.E. Hinton, who also co-wrote the screenplay. 2. El Mariachi, Desperado. El Mariachi, Antonio Banderas at his best by the way, is a nameless folklore hero in Hispanic culture whose destiny played him a very bad hand. He got mixed up with another man who also carried a guitar case and had unfinished business with the local mafia. The wrong guy was hunted down, and after they killed the woman he loved, they shot his magic hand, nearly causing him to never play guitar again. Once El Mariachi heals, he fills his guitar case with guns and his soul with hate, and goes out seeking revenge for the love of his life. And 1. The Girl. The 7-Year Itch. Arguably one of the most popular films made in the 50s, The 7-Year Itch contains probably the most iconic and authentically sexy images of the 20th century. We're of course referring to the moment when Marilyn Monroe is standing on the subway grate and her white dress is blown up around her by the rush of air from a passing underground train. The scene was blatantly criticized by the super prude and conservative critics of the era for showing too much flesh, and the fact that Monroe's character had no name wasn't even noticed.
If you like what you just saw, consider pressing that orange subscribe button on the upper right hand corner of your screen. And if you want more awesome lists, check out our 25 most dangerous hikes, treks, and climbs on Earth, and our 25 interesting beer facts that will leave you tipsy.